Right now today, as I'm recording this, Micron just fell 7% in a single session. Not because demand disappeared, not because a customer walked away. Micron's entire 2026 high bandwidth memory supply, every wafer, every contract, is already sold. The order book didn't change this morning. The stock still dropped 7%. I'm opening with that because it's the cleanest, freshest example of exactly the trap Nvidia is about to walk into on Tuesday. In 2 days, Nvidia has to report revenue of roughly $92 billion. Wall Street built that number. Nvidia didn't ask for it. And here's the uncomfortable math. Polymarket, where real traders put real money on the outcome, currently prices a 95% chance Nvidia beats that number. When almost everyone already agrees the beat is coming, the beat itself stops being news. What starts trading is everything. After it, the guidance, the margin, the one sentence buried in the call that sounds slightly less perfect than last quarter. Today, we're breaking down what I'm calling the law of large numbers trap, why Nvidia can do almost everything right on Tuesday and still see the stock fall, why that's already happened 4 quarters in a row, and what it means for Nvidia, AMD, and Broadcom. I'm John A.G. This is Future AI Stocks. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Let's put the actual number on the table, because beat expectations means nothing without knowing how high the bar already sits. Nvidia guided its own fiscal second quarter revenue to $91 billion, plus or minus 2%, back in May, meaning management itself set the range at roughly $89 billion to $93 billion. Wall Street's consensus estimate landed at $91.82 billion, implying close to 96% year-over-year growth, with earnings per share expected around $2.07, up nearly 100% from a year ago. That guidance already excludes any data center compute revenue from China, which means Nvidia set this bar knowing exactly what it was giving up. Nvidia has beaten its own EPS estimates by 5.42%, 6.58%, 4.84%, and 3.96% over the last 4 quarters, straight a genuine real beat streak. And Polymarket currently prices a 95.3% probability of a 5th straight beat on Tuesday. Here's the part that should actually worry you if you're long this stock going into earnings. When 95% of the market already expects the beat is priced in before the report even happens. Trading on Tuesday isn't going to be about whether Nvidia clears $92 billion. It's going to be about the 2 or 3 sentences of qualitative color that come afterward, what management says about margins, about China, about capacity into next year. That's where the real risk sits. Here's the analogy I want you to hold on to for the rest of this video, because it explains everything else we're about to cover. Imagine a student who has scored 100% on every test, every single time, for 4 years straight. Everyone in the school expects it now, teachers, parents, classmates. Then one test comes back at 98%. Objectively, that's still an excellent grade. But the entire school panics, because the only thing anyone was actually tracking was whether the streak continued. That's not a metaphor. That's literally been happening to Nvidia's stock. After its fiscal Q3 2026 report in November, shares initially rose, then reversed and closed down about 3%. After its fiscal Q4 2026 report in February, the stock fell roughly 5%. After its fiscal Q1 2027 report this past May, a quarter, where Nvidia posted record revenue of $81.62 billion, up 85% year over year, beat both revenue and EPS estimates, and raised its dividend, the stock still fell 1.77% the very next session. That's 4 consecutive quarters where Nvidia beat Wall Street's numbers and the stock either fell or barely moved. Motley Fool analyst Daniel Sparks called it exactly right after the May report. This is now the 4th quarter in a row Nvidia stock has slipped after a beat and raise print. The disconnect, in his words, has less to do with the actual report and more to do with what was already priced in before the report ever happened. This is the law of large numbers problem in plain English. Once a company gets big enough and consistent enough, the market stops rewarding it for repeating its own success. It starts demanding acceleration on top of acceleration, and at some point, the math of compounding 90% plus growth off an already massive base becomes nearly impossible to keep satisfying investors who are pricing in infinite momentum. If revenue almost certainly comes in fine, where does the actual danger sit? Nvidia guided non-GAAP gross margin to 75%, plus or minus 50 basis points for this quarter. That number matters more than the headline revenue figure because it's the cleanest read on whether Nvidia's own supply chain costs are starting to eat into its historic profitability. And right now, there's a very real reason to watch it closely. Remember what we've covered on this channel over the past week. Memory prices are surging industry-wide, with reports this week showing AI server prices climbing more than 15% as memory costs soar. Nvidia doesn't make its own HBM. It buys it from Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung, the same companies whose stock, ironically, is dropping today even with sold-out order books. If Nvidia's packaging and memory input costs are rising as fast as this week's data suggests, even a small miss on that 75% margin guide, say, coming in at 74% instead, could be read by algorithmic trading systems as a structural crack, not a rounding error. That's the actual mechanism behind a beat and drop reaction. Institutional and high-frequency trading systems aren't reading Jensen Huang's tone. They're parsing specific numbers against preset thresholds in milliseconds. A gross margin print that undershoots guidance, even by half a point, can trigger automated sell orders well before any human analyst has finished reading the press release. To be clear, none of this is a demand problem, and that distinction matters enormously for how you should think about any post-earnings dip. Nvidia's own booked supply-related commitments now sit at roughly $119 billion, and management has reiterated what it calls full confidence in $1 trillion of combined Blackwell and Rubin platform revenue between 2025 and the end of calendar 2027. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives has publicly estimated AI chip demand is currently outstripping supply by a ratio of roughly 15-1. Jensen Huang's own language on the last call was that demand has gone parabolic. So here's the honest framing. If Nvidia's stock falls after Tuesday's report, the evidence strongly suggests that won't be a verdict on the business. It'll be a verdict on how impossibly high expectations had already climbed the exact same dynamic we just watched play out in Micron stock this morning, on a company with its entire year's supply already sold. AMD sits in an interesting position heading into Tuesday. It doesn't need Nvidia to stumble to win, but a stumble wouldn't hurt its narrative either. AMD closed Friday, August 21st at $473.25. before opening down roughly 3.9% this Monday morning, alongside the broader semiconductor pullback. The company has guided third-quarter data center revenue to around $13 billion, and Goldman Sachs recently upgraded the stock, with analyst targets across the street, now ranging from $579 to $700. AMD's Instinct GPU line remains the only credible large-scale alternative to Nvidia's accelerators, and its growth story doesn't depend on Nvidia disappointing it depends on the AI infrastructure build-out being big enough for more than one winner. Here's the connection to Tuesday specifically. If Nvidia's report shows margin pressure from rising input costs, the stock sells off on that basis, AMD could actually see relative strength, not because AMD is immune to the same memory cost pressures, but because a law of large numbers problem is specifically a Nvidia scale problem. AMD's growth is coming off a smaller base, which means the same percentage growth rate doesn't require the same astronomical absolute dollar figure that's currently squeezing Nvidia's expectations. Broadcom is worth watching for a completely different reason. It reports its own earnings just 1 week after Nvidia, on September 2nd, which makes Tuesday's reaction a preview of what Broadcom stock could face too. Broadcom closed Friday, August 21st at $368.45, down from its all-time closing high of $480.77, set back on June 2nd, a pullback of roughly 23%, even as the company continues posting some of the fastest AI-driven growth in the entire semiconductor sector. Wall Street's consensus rating remains strong buy, with analyst targets averaging in the $500 to $528 range across major platforms, implying substantial upside from current levels. BMO Capital just initiated coverage this past week with an outperform rating and a $455 target, specifically citing Broadcom's custom AI silicon business, which the firm expects to grow around 180% in fiscal 2026. The connection to Nvidia's report is direct. Broadcom trades at a premium built on the same assumption. Nvidia does that AI infrastructure spending keeps accelerating without interruption. If Nvidia's Tuesday commentary on hyperscaler capex, packaging costs, or 2027 demand visibility comes in soft in any way, it's very likely to compress sentiment across every high multiple AI infrastructure name, Broadcom included, regardless of Broadcom's own fundamentals a week later. Risk one, this time the margin miss could be real, not just optics. Rising memory and packaging costs are a genuine, verifiable trend right now, not a hypothetical. If Nvidia's margin actually breaks meaningfully below 75%, that's a fundamental data point, not just a sentiment overreaction. Risk two, China remains a wild card. Nvidia's guidance already excludes Chinese data center compute revenue. Any commentary suggesting that exclusion becomes permanent rather than temporary removes a potential future catalyst investors have been quietly pricing in. Risk three, the law of large numbers problem doesn't reverse itself. As Nvidia's revenue base keeps growing, each future quarter needs an even larger absolute dollar beat to move the percentage growth needle. This isn't a one-quarter story, it's a structural characteristic of being this large, and it likely persists into future reports too. Risk four, broader semiconductor sentiment is already fragile. Today's Micron and SanDisk sell-off, despite sold-out order books, shows the market is currently in a sell-first, ask-questions-later mode across the entire AI hardware complex. That mood can amplify any Nvidia weakness well beyond what the actual numbers justify. Risk five, AMD and Broadcom aren't immune either. Both stocks carry premium valuations built on the same AI acceleration assumptions Nvidia does. A genuine demand-side disappointment from Nvidia, however unlikely, would pressure the whole group together. Here's the frame to walk away with. Nvidia is almost certainly going to beat Tuesday's numbers, a 95% poly-market probability, a 4-quarter beat streak, and $119 billion in book demand all point the same direction. But beating the number and the stock going up have become two completely different events for a company this size. We've now watched 4 straight quarters where Nvidia did the hard part, beat the estimates, and the market still found something to sell. That's not evidence the business is weakening. It's evidence of exactly what we saw play out in Micron stock this very morning. When expectations get priced for perfection, even a 98% can look like a failure to a market that only remembers the 100%. That's the full story of the law of large numbers trap Nvidia is walking into on Tuesday, and what it means for AMD and Broadcom too with real numbers and real sourcing, no hype. Drop a comment. Do you think Nvidia's stock rallies, drops, or goes nowhere after Tuesday's print? I read everyone. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. I'm John A.G. I'll see you in the next one.